Hello, my name is Dan, and this is a bonus episode of Sports and Songs podcast. Tonight's episode is called Sports and Songs Investigates. Investigates. Now, I've got two topics tonight that we'll be talking about. Both involve the one is sports and one is songs, so it's kind of an overlap episode as well. Both these topics were recent news. So let's start with the first one. This involves local hockey team, New Prague boys varsity hockey team. Now, this is a community south of here. Boys varsity announcement was made, an email was sent out um, from the athletic director announcing that assistant coach Tim Applin has submitted his resignation from the team effective immediately. Now, they only have one regular season game left, and then the postseason starts. And so, this time of year, notices like this, emails like this are fairly common. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to New Prague, the chief of police is also Tim Applin. So, the chief of police by day is assistant on the side, assistant hockey coach for the boys varsity. Now, he's been let go, essentially stepped down from his position, which is all fine and good as well. Now, yesterday when this dropped, there was quite a bit of activity on the Facebook group called New Prague Happenings. New Prague Happenings. And this popped up on my feed on Facebook, and I took an interest to this because this topic was brought up in a post. I notice here there's 17.3 thousand members of this Facebook group. It talks about all things New Prague, all types of community things. Only 8,000 or 8,200 people live in New Prague, so this is a very popular page. I don't live. I live west of there, so but still, it's nice and interesting to track what's going on there. An interesting post came up mentioning that assistant coach has stepped down, and that garnered some attention right away. But a few minutes later, the post was gone. Post was removed. Post was scrubbed. And then a few minutes later, as I was taking note, I saw it go back up, and some other people were questioning what happened to that post. Actual post on the New Prague Happenings Facebook group. And quickly that was pulled down again, the second post. So the moderators on that page are interested to note that they were pulling down posts on an actual event that was happening basically in real time. So I found that to be strange and odd. So I just made a note of it because it started off with just a notification as an update saying the assistant coach is stepping down, submitted his resignation. And then we get the tie-in for the police chief, and then some strange activity on the New Prague Happenings website page where a lot of people took interest in that. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but I would make note of that, as it just seems very strange if you ask me. The second topic for tonight, the Kurt Cobain case has been in the news last 2 days. Here is the Facebook group. This was announced February 10th. Basically, at 7:05 p.m., the Facebook group is, they announced there that Newsweek picked up our story. So this is the group where the researchers have put together and put out this paper on the new opening up of this case, that they want to get it opened up as a homicide. This is the group there that runs that. The group, if you're interested, if those following the case, here as we get into the songs portion of the episode, 3.2 thousand members, Facebook group called Who Killed Kurt, private group. And so investigations like this on the Cobain murder has been going on for years. I followed it going back to 2006. I got really interested in this. And so that's 20 years following it. There's books, there's topics on this. And for years, they tried to, a different group tried to get this reclassified, the Kurt Cobain murder, from a suicide to undetermined. Now, they never had luck with that because it's been widely proven there was no suicide. A suicide could not have taken place for Kurt Cobain. And this is whether you're a fan or not of the music or the band, he was the lead singer for Nirvana. And so when this suicide alleged took place, it seemed off from the very get-go. It turns out that the city of Seattle, the Seattle Police Department was complicit in a cover-up there, as this was known almost immediately as a murder staged to look like a suicide. So for years, investigators tried to push to get this turned from not a homicide, but just to make it undetermined because it was so obvious that a suicide did not take place. Now, this group called Who Killed Kurt got their article and everything picked up and went mainstream and worldwide. This article, this is just from 2 days ago, so less than 48 hours ago, this topic has been going viral, and everyone's been following this case because they want to really push it and have it switched to a homicide. Now, for those who haven't followed the case, Kurt Cobain was allegedly dead already before he was shot. He was overdosed with 3 times the amount of heroin in his system. So someone jacked him up with heroin, which caused his death. 3 times the lethal dose. Repeat, 3 times the lethal dose. So there's no way he would have done that himself. And then after he almost instantaneously died, probably 30 seconds, someone stuck a shotgun in his mouth, fired it, left it in his hands, and walked away and left it look like a suicide took place, leaving a suicide note there. The strange things there in this case were the receipt for the 20 gauge Remington shotgun. The receipt was in his left pocket. The receipt for the shells was in his right pocket. The shells were lined up by his feet. It was all very neat. It was all very, it was the perfect suicide case. All the evidence was right there. His billfold was laying out. His wallet was taken out, laying out to quickly identify his name and address there in Seattle, Washington. Now, the interesting thing for shooting up that much heroin is that his sleeve was rolled back down. It wasn't up. It wasn't rolled up. There wasn't a rubber band on it for injecting. And like I said, he would have been dead in about 30 seconds for the time it would have taken to roll his sleeve back down on a suicide attempt. I'm not sure why that would have been. Also, his drug paraphernalia next to him was neatly put away and closed up. Nothing was sitting out from shooting up that amount of heroin. So allegedly, he was dead. Someone shot him with a shotgun, left the scene, pulled the door shut, locked it to make it look like he locked himself in that room at his house near Lake Washington. And so that is very commonly known as a cover-up from day one. Now, interesting that this is all taking. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen here with the case. If anything's going to happen with it, feel free, if you're interested, jump on and follow this Facebook group there. I'm involved with that. Very interesting as the evidence is coming out there. And these are professional folks too, with the forensics, the analysis, and the research. These are not just internet conspiracy theories, folks putting their theories out there. This has been proven. Now, the books that I recommend, if you do want to get involved, this is, I read this one in 2013, Murder at Lake Washington. Tom Grant, the original investigator, the former detective on the case, hired by Courtney Love, ended up writing these books, 3 parts. These I found very helpful because of the details, the detail in the books that he wrote. He's a former police officer and detective, and was actually working the case, and found out he got double-crossed. So he was the one pushing for the change for the official story, the narrative, to be changed to undetermined as cause of death. This new group, I don't think it has nothing to do with Tom Grant's group, is saying change it to a homicide and reopen the case. Now, for some reason, the mainstream media is picking up this story, and I'm not sure this has been, stuff like this has been coming out every 5 years for 20 years, articles and things, but it never really seems to take off. It never gets to the mainstream. This one did. This one did. So I'm interested in tracking how this comes out. If you have any comments and things, interesting items, leave a comment below as well, because this is an old case. It's coming up on the 32-year anniversary in April. 32 years ago this took place. And so the cover-up and those involved in this cover-up in the Pacific Northwest, this isn't just a 3 to 5 year, 10-year deal. This corruption goes back 32 years. So hats off to that group that did that. Hopefully something will come of that. Please leave your comments below. Thanks for listening.